Welcome back to another exciting episode of Level Up with Sean Meyers, the podcast that brings you the stories of incredible individuals who have overcome the odds and achieved remarkable success. Today, we have a very special guest with us, who's not just an entrepreneur, but also a relentless dream chaser. He's taken that daring leap, balancing a thriving t-shirt business with a full-time job, and has soared to an astonishing 6-figure revenue. He's the embodiment of passion, resilience, and fearlessness. So buckle up and get ready to take some notes, because you're about to learn what it takes to make it big. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our extraordinary guest, Aaron Willis. Aaron Willis, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome to the Level Up with Sean Meyers podcast, brother. Happy to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me today. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Well, I've got my co-host here, Ewan Heinemeier. What's up, Ewan?
How are you doing?
What's up, Ewan? How you doing, Ewan?
Yeah, good to see you, man. real quick backstory. Me and Aaron have known each other for 10 years, basically, at this point. And we worked together in another field, and we've become very close. And so this is a special moment to have two of my best friends. My best friend I've known for, 13 years.
I was about to say 13 years, man.
Aaron, I've known you for 10
And we've never met. This is our first time meeting, Aaron.
Correct, yes. Hey, Sean, it was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man. Give me a fist pump there, man.
Exactly.
We're fist pumping. If you're listening to this, we're fist pumping right now. I know you don't get to see the
It's
video.
a happy day for me. This is
Right.
So we're excited to have you on board, man. We appreciate the time, energy, and effort you being here today. And tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So my name is Aaron. And once again, I own a kids brand named Aaron Davoe Clothing. I've been married to my beautiful wife for 17 years. I have 4 kids. I'm a father. I would say I'm a Christ believer, father, husband, and an all-around good person. I started my brand in 2020, right before, I would say, COVID. And COVID really helped me get to that next level with my brand. I'll give you guys a little backstory about that. So, I've always been a artsy type of person. I can draw, but I was one of those people who, could draw, but I was like the hood version and just drawing, graffiti type stuff. I was just drawing. So I learned in high school how to do Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. So once I learned that, it helped me take my art to another level. So I started doing that, just tinkering around, playing around a little bit. And I always had these ideas. I always tell people, fear is what just holds you back. I always had these ideas, but I was so worried how people would, they would look at them like, that's kind of, not be into or interested in. So I was just feeling like that. So once I got past that and started realizing that my art was creative and people would actually enjoy it, things just kind of took off.
What was that first time? This is what we discussed, but man, I never thought about, I never asked this before. When I first found out that you did art, I was like, I didn't know, man. Thinking back, I'm like, I'm not surprised because you're so eloquent and you know people so well, and that takes a certain mindset. And so now that I know, it's really cool that you can do that. But when was the first time someone saw your art and you kind of had belief in yourself? Like,
I go back to, so my brother, he's always, how you say you have to surround yourself around really positive people. So my brother and a group of his friends always encouraged me to like, hey, you really need to concentrate and get your art out there. Because they would see, I would show my brother little, Photoshop, Illustrator things that I would do. And he would like, man, you're super talented, but you're limiting yourself. Like you don't believe in what you're doing. You're limiting yourself. And it's just, having that negative mindset and like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what people are going to think. Really held me back for years. Having
someone that had your back, someone that had belief in you.
Correct.
We hear that so many times now on the podcast. And then if I think about stories from other people I know, it was someone that had a little bit of belief in you or that person. And it just it was a little seed that let them plant that and grow it a little more into what it ends up being.
Correct. No, I totally agree with you on that. Like I said, my brother kind of pushing me to that level of saying, hey, you're very talented and you really need to look into pushing your art out there. And I was just trying to find a way to do that. You know, like I said, I was just drawing and creating in Photoshop and Illustrator. And one day I was on YouTube and I seen this young man pop up. His name is Charles. And he had a course called T-Shirt Millionaires. And on the course, in his course, he basically broken it down to say, hey, you know, I'm going to show you ways to get your art to the world by putting it on T-shirts. So
amazing, man. And it's a course. I want people to hear that. Like, Aaron, you didn't just try and do it on your own. You saw a guy that had a blueprint for you to have an image in your mind of success and possible a business, and you just paid the money, I assume, and then just went for it. You know, did you actually kind of rolls in, like when you started your business, did you know it was going to be as big as it ended up being, or was it just kind of, I'm going to test and see where this goes? Or what was your image when you started this?
So when I first started off, you know, I ain't just doing the regular posting on social media, you know, T-shirt mock-ups. And for you guys that don't know what mock-ups is, it's just when you put you add some graphics and you put them on a stationary, you know, T-shirt or somebody wearing T-shirts, all computer generated. So I just started off doing that. And, you know, I would get a few likes, you know, a few things, a few people would ask. Mostly people buying them would be family members and things of that nature. So, but I got enough of good feedback to know, hey, I might be on to something, but I still wasn't making no money. So what I did is I was like, you know what? I'm big into mentorship. I'm big into coaching. You know, I believe everybody in life needs to have some type of mentor, some type of coach to kind of guide you on the things that you don't know. So what I did, I said to myself, I said, you know, I started Googling and I went on YouTube. And when Charles from T-Shirt Millionaire popped up, I seen that and I was like, you know what? This may be a sign. This may be a sign from God to reach out. So I sent him a calendar invite and scheduled a call. Now, be transparent as possible with you guys. Whenever the call first happened, he said the price. I was like, there's no way. I don't know if I can cuss on here or not, but I was like, hell no. But I was like, there's no.
Was that big a number?
What was the number?
So the first initial number was $5,000. And at that time, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but for me, it was a lot. So I was like, $5,000, no. And then he goes, well, I'll tell you what, I believe in you, so I can do it for $3,000. Wow. And so he said that, and I'm still like, you about $2,000 over my budget still, you know? So, and then he was like, well, I'll tell you what, let's set up a payment plan and you pay monthly. And I felt more comfortable doing that. And then it's crazy because I was actually talking to Ewan, and Ewan was telling me how he believed in coaching and how sometimes, you know, people come into your life that you need to help mold and get you to that next level. Yeah. And I signed up for the monthly plan and jumped in.
And do you regret your decision?
Oh, best decision of my life. You know, from going through the coaching program, the mastermind, I took my business within 3 months from doing roughly $900 to $1,000 to doing $10,000 months consistently. And
do you think you would be, Aaron? Do you think you would be where you are today if you didn't go through the mastermind group and the coaching and surround yourself with those other individuals to kind of guide you, map you through that process?
No,
where you are today?
No. Without the mastermind group, I would have just been out here. I would have been a wantrepreneur. You know, I've just been that want to do something, but not actually doing it. And with the mastermind group, and I tell people I'm big on this, you need to get around like-minded people. You know, you want to be the least successful person in the room.
What happens if you don't?
If you don't, to me, this is just my personal opinion, you're just out here blind. You know, it's so much information that you don't know. Why not get with somebody who's already has done what you're trying to do?
So
invest in yourself.
People will, they see the money and think, well, that's a scam, or that's not going to work, or I've seen that all the time, and that can't be real. It can't be true. This is snake oil. But then someone like you comes along and pulls the trigger and puts the effort in because you believe in yourself, and it works, and then it pays itself off. So what's the difference between the person that doesn't do it and the person that does? Is the belief. The fact that you pulled the trigger and you were willing to pay the money showed that you were serious. The people who don't, they just keep thinking it's going to happen, or they're too afraid to put their toe in the water. And so they'll look up 5 years later and nothing has happened. Meanwhile, 5 years later for you multi-six-figure business, you know
Correct.
what I mean? And that's the difference.
Yes, correct. And I totally agree with you. And I always go back to it's a mindset. You know, a lot of people have that scared mindset and they don't want to invest in themselves. You have to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to lose before you can win. It's just a part of business. It's part of life. You got to go through those steps. Like I said, the most important thing to me was I was a artist. I was not a business-minded person. I did not know marketing. I did not know how important marketing was. I was an artist. He gave me the blueprint on ways to leverage my business, to take my fun hobby and make it into a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm hearing you, it's interesting listening to you, Aaron, because like a lot of people that are listening to this could say it's easier said than done.
Correct.
Right. So what's one piece of advice to that person that's saying, hey man, it's easier said than done, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing you say is you took action. You took that leap of faith.
Correct.
In coaching in the mastermind group and investing in yourself. But somebody that is fearful, right? The fear, self-doubt of taking that leap, what would be one piece of advice like on sharing that with them? Where could they start on building that confidence?
Correct. So, you know, I'm big into, first thing first, I had to change my mindset, you know, get out of the scarcity mindset. And so once I did that, I had to learn, like going back and thinking about what I did when I started my business. The first thing I would tell myself is start as soon as possible so you can fail quickly, because you're going to fail. You got to go through the trials and the tribulations to understand what your business really is.
So fail is what you're saying. Yeah, it's official. Correct.
You got to fail. Start soon as possible to get the failing out the way, because you're going to fail. It's going to be a point.
Is it a failure or is it a stepping stone?
It's okay. You're right, Sean. It's not a failure. It's a stepping stone. But at that point in time, I looked at it as a failure, you know, because in my mind, in my mind, I was thinking of, I'm going to put this product out here and it's just going to take off. It's going to, just go off the shelves. I'm going to sell it to everybody. That didn't happen. So I had to get out of that, that negative mindset and say, you know what, let me, or like you say, let me learn on these, what I consider failures, get them over with quick as possible. But then I can understand my business from the back end and how I'm going to grow this business. So my main thing I tell people today is start as soon as possible. I work a full-time job and I did this after hours and on weekends. So there's no excuses. I didn't start this business with a whole lot of money. I started this business with about $1,000, to be honest with you guys.
Let me ask you a question, Aaron. It's kind of shifting gears a little bit. Why did you start this business?
So, like I said, for me, creating art and trying to find the cheapest way to get my art out there was print on demand, was POD. Was being able to put it on from T-shirts to canvases or whatever I could find. But I knew T-shirts was very, very cheap at that time. It was a cheap way for me to get my art out there. And then once I started, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, no, sorry to interrupt. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is, was it for additional income? Was it for you're wanting to replace your full-time job to this? Or was it financial freedom? What was it?
My biggest why was it's crazy because me and you and I was talking about, I'm really not money driven. It was mainly a creative outlet for me, Okay. So it was really, I'm big on, I love to create, and I love when people who are interested in something that I create. Like it's amazing to me that I have, what some people say, like fans, who every time I drop something, they purchase. They email me, when is the next drop? When is this coming out? So it was a creative outlet. And don't get me wrong, I still want to get into the financial freedom, but I'm not really driven by the financial gains. I'm more driven by the creativity and me having that outlet to get my art out there. That really excites me.
I mean, what you're talking about there is doing a job that you don't necessarily love. I'm not saying that's true for you, but the people listening, if there's a job that you don't love. You're kind of existing in that world, but you started this t-shirt business out of something that was a passion. You weren't making money out of this. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to work after hours. You could have just sat and watched TV when you got home, but you were compelled with your art. You had this talent and you wanted to get out to the world, and it drove you, or even let's just say it pulled you in. You couldn't help it because it's something that you love, and that's passion, man. And man, well, if we could only get that into the hands of everybody, I mean, it's very few people ever get to do what you are just doing. Sean's in that same boat, you know, doing this podcast is that pool for me. Like, I don't need to make any money doing this. I just love talking with people. We do this for free anyways. We're just recording it now. You know, so what you're talking about, I'm still trying to figure this out. Maybe you have an answer, or you do, Sean. How do you get people to find that thing that pulls, you know, where they would do it when they're tired, when they get home from work? What gets them that pull so that the tire doesn't matter? Doesn't matter to get up early. Doesn't matter if I don't have the money. I'll find it. I'll do whatever it takes to be able to do this thing. Like, I'm asking you. Do either one of you guys have the answer?
I'm going to go first, Sean.
Yeah.
For me, it's. And I think I shared this with you and behind the scenes. For me, Aaron, I hired a life coach almost 2 years ago. In December of 2021. And long story short, he had given me these exercises and these worksheets. And one of the things that stuck out to me, I had that aha moment when I was reading these PDFs and doing these worksheets and going down the rabbit hole, right? And trying to figure out my purpose and why I was put on this earth. And it's more than just what I was doing prior, building a business and the money and the marketing and the advertising and the employees and the management and all that, right? I was just existing, and it was just a rat race over and over and over and over again. And it just was miserable, right? I'm 36. This was at 34. And so I was like, there's more to life. Like, I don't want to feel like this the rest of my life. And so I was searching for the answer. Well, that's the problem. Because I was searching for the answer, I wasn't focusing on the right priority, on the right area, which is be here in the now, in the moment, present on this podcast, listening to Aaron, Willis, right? Share your story, the experience at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. I'm here. I'm not anywhere else. I'm not on my phone. I'm not on social media. I'm not, I'm here with you. And I wasn't focusing on that. I was focusing on the externals. I was focusing on the future, the weather, the purpose, the vision, the money. What's in my bank account? What's the stock market doing? What's crypto doing? What's real estate doing? I wasn't focused on the here and now. If you're not focused on the here and now,
where are you?
Right? You're just out here. You're existing.
I bet when you're doing your art, Aaron, does it not feel like
that's powerful, Sean?
In the zone? Yes. Like what he just said, like you're being present like that. Do you feel like that when you're doing art? Like
I am. It goes back to what Sean was just saying. It's just, being present and in that moment and enjoying that. A lot of people ask me, how do you find that why? I'm like, like you said, Sean, you gotta take the moment, the day, whatever day you're in right there. Find out your why. Why do you enjoy doing what you do? You have to dig deep and find out your why. For me, like I said, it's the artist. I'm an artist. Go ahead.
Exactly. Not to interrupt you, but you took that leap of faith, right?
Correct.
Like, this is interesting to me. I could see this. I'm passionate about this.
Correct.
And you took one step. You took that leap of faith, right? Mm-hmm. And you needed a roadmap. You needed guidance. And that's what you sought out with the coaching and the mastermind group. You invested in yourself. You took that leap because for things to change, you had to change along that journey. Then it led to you in this beautiful business, in this beautiful time, this beautiful life in your life where when you are doing that, when you are getting creative, you are in the zone. It's almost like a meditation. It's almost like a zen. It's almost like a peace and contentment in your life. And there's people out there that need that Aaron Willis in their life.
Correct.
Right? And you're able to give them that through your creativity, through your t-shirts, right?
It's a gift. Your gift that you have is being shared with the world.
Correct.
And it's a gift for those people too. And this all sounds beautiful and rainbows. You've never had a single problem since you started. So it worked out really well. Or just maybe, was there any struggles, hurdles? What was the emotional journey? And how could you relate that to people listening? Because they might have that why. They might have it, but those emotions will stop them. And
it was some struggles. I always tell people, business is hard. The business is hard, and from a creative standpoint, it's very hard. From a creative standpoint, and I always tell people, Aaron Davoe is not for everybody. Everybody's not going to understand the art, what I do. They're not going to get it. And I had to tell myself, like, hey, this is the reality of it. So I had to get out of my own feelings and realize everybody's not going to like what I do. So that was one of the biggest things that it really wore on me. Because
you want everyone to like you, Aaron. I'm the same way. I want everyone to like me, but that's not possible, and
Correct.
It's not reasonable, and it's
Correct.
not helpful. And you know what? Now that I'm matured and been working on this, it's okay if someone doesn't like what it is that I do.
Correct. I totally agree.
How many people do like what you do?
I totally agree with what you said, and dealing with social media. Social media is a beautiful thing, but you're going to deal with a lot of different personality and what they call them trolls, who's going to say, why would somebody buy that? So I had to get used to that. So somebody coming onto my marketplace and asking, why would you buy that? So for me, I'm taking that as straight negativity. I'm getting down on myself, second guessing myself. And
that's a knife to the heart. That's a knife to the heart, right? Because that's your beautiful soul and mind on paper, right? On a t-shirt. And someone dogs that. How do you deal with that, man?
I had to learn. I go back to sports, and it's got, if you guys play sports, you have good plays and you have bad plays. So I always go back to, if I'm playing quarterback and I throw an interception, I have to get up for the next series. And so that's what I said to myself. You know what? Just because somebody was negative on this aspect doesn't mean there's a billion something people in this world. Somebody's going to be interested in it. And that's why I tell people, niche your business down. Niche it down.
Let's stay on that. Niche your business down. When did you learn that? So you started your business, you opened it up, you put one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. When did you learn to niche it down? And what do you mean by niche it down?
So what I mean about niching it down, a lot of times you meet people who wanted to get in business and do a million different things, right? They're like, hey, I want to sell this, I want to sell that, I want to sell this. No. You need to figure out your why and figure out your core audience and niche your business to that specific group of people. And that's what I did. A lot of people ask me this to this day. Why did you concentrate on kids? My main reason why I did was because I knew I wanted to be, when I looked at the kids market, you've seen dinosaurs, you've seen blocks, you've seen it's just a norm. And Aaron Davoe was created to be different. I knew there's a group of parents who wanted their kids to wear something that they don't see in a department store and to be different. And that's why
I've never seen anything like you've done before. It's beautiful. It's almost mesmerizing. It's like I can't quite take my eye off it because it keeps almost changing the way you've done your art. It's really cool. And we're going to have links to your site and your t-shirt business in the show notes. We're going to put that out on Facebook and Instagram and everything because, man, I've seen your art and I want people to see it. Like you have a dream to have people see it. I have a dream that people see your art too. It's so cool.
I appreciate that. No, and like I say, the niche is the key to me to business. So you need to, and niche just means just make it smaller. Make sure you're concentrating on a few different items. A lot of times we have, being a creative person, I have so many different ideas in my head. Sometimes I have to slow myself down. Like, no, concentrate on this. Your niche market. Who you're trying to get to buy your products. So you really need to niche down your business and figure that part out. Figure out your why. Figure out your ideal customer.
So figure out your niche business, right? Figure out who wants to lean in and purchase your products, your services, or so the why. How important is that? And why should somebody consider their why when they're opening up a business or any area of life for that matter?
Okay. So, we were talking about this earlier about being transparent and being vulnerable. A lot of times people don't realize, some people say, well, man, you can just throw anything on the internet and it sells. The internet is the hardest place to sell because they're not talking to Sean or Ewan in person. They don't know them. So whenever you're doing business over the internet, you have to have a wide purpose. People buy from you. They're not buying this cool product. They're buying from Sean and Ewan. They're buying from you. They want to know your why, your purpose. So that's when you have to be transparent and vulnerable and let them know, why are you doing this? What is your purpose? And they'll see that.
Advice. That is crazy good advice. And I hope it doesn't skim over for what some people are listening to there, because it's that why, like you said, it's a hard place to sell. It's a cold screen.
Correct.
And what's the difference between this site buying something and this site buying something?
Correct.
And if it's your soul, like you said, and it's on there and you put everything into it and it's real, as opposed to some generated, just, random thing that's generic.
Correct.
People will, and you've niched down, they will gravitate towards what you've done. And so we're talking t-shirts here. That's true in any business, business. And we're talking about courses for t-shirt business. There's courses out there for all different kinds of things, but it has to be your element that is in there. The world is not seen. Yeah. You know what? Did people not tell you that t-shirt business was saturated? Everybody was doing t-shirts when you started. Why would you even bother doing that?
Mm-hmm.
But, you've just done proved everybody wrong. And there's someone that's starting a t-shirt business today in an even more saturated market, and they're going to have $1 million successes too, right? So what's the difference? And I think what you just touched it right there, that vulnerability, being authentic and truly doing what it is that is in your soul. That's the difference maker. And everybody can do that. It's available. Not everyone will. Most people will not, but it is available.
I totally agree with you, Ewan.
So shifting gears a little bit. So you've always wanted to get your creativity out there. And then how did you land on t-shirts? I mean, there's probably 100 different ways you could have went, right?
Correct.
And you may have shared this earlier. Maybe I missed it, but you landed on t-shirts, right? And getting that out there. And I think you just showed us earlier a shoot, right? Now you got a shoot.
Yes. So actually, now I'm getting into doing other creative outlets. I'm getting into shoes. I'm getting into different things. But what I really had to do was to really, concentrate on my initial, which was the t-shirts. And we were talking about earlier, Sean, and I mentioned that, whenever I got into the t-shirts, I was just actually looking at a way to get my art out there. And I was Googling in YouTube. And how they say God puts you put certain people in your life at a certain time. And when I was YouTubing and I ran across the T-shirt Millionaire course, it really just stood out to me. And God had me concentrate and reach out to Charles. And whenever we started talking and having a conversation, and I was just like, this is it. And it just hit me. It was my aha moment. It was like, this is it. This is the way I can get my product out here. The upfront cost isn't a lot. I created my website. I was doing all the artwork on the back end. I had to learn marketing, and to go back to what Ewan was talking about, some of my struggles at the beginning was marketing. You're talking about when Facebook ads were so ridiculous lucrative. I mean, you're making tons of money on Facebook ads. And I had to realize and understand, because like I said, I'm a creative person. So I'm really not into the whole marketing and business aspect. So I had to learn that. How, I'm looking at the ROAS. How much can I put into marketing, make a profit, and to keep my business sustainable? I had to do all of that type of stuff and learn that aspect of it. And marketing, I'll tell anybody, you can have the greatest product in the world. If no one knows about it besides you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Coming out of the gates, starting your business, did you have a budget that you started with?
So I started with $1,200. I think it was $1,200 to $1,000. I started with print on demand. So I was using Printify at the beginning. And I learned too that Printify and Printful, those print on demand companies are great, but the margins are very, very slim. So what I had to figure out was, okay, my thing is I want to get my product out to the masses. So I had to cut down the price to sell volume. So what I started doing was I started printing here local in Houston. So I got a local printer that I use. His name is Enrico with Hub 92, and I use him, and he's been phenomenal for my business. It helped me get my margins down so I can become more profitable.
On the marketing side there, so you struggled that if you were to go back to that moment where you didn't know what you're doing, you have to figure it out, and you got the course and everything, but even with that, there's probably struggles there.
Right.
What would you do differently now to have sped that up? Of course, you didn't know what you know now, but looking back, if you were to tell someone today that was like in the exact same shoes that you were, what would you tell them to just speed that marketing side up, like in a streamlined way?
So with marketing, you have to realize with marketing, and I found this out, you're going to invest a lot into marketing to lose. I mean, it's just part of it, right? I mean, it's because you have to find out who your core market is. Who are you selling to? I was telling Ewan about this the other day.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I was giving him an idea of my customers and what it looks like. So when you go into the Facebook marketplace and you're running ads, it's going to ask you male, female, country, state, all different types of things. Back in the days, it had a situation where you can go into entertainers that they like, music that they like, certain type of clothing that they wear. And so I had to go on my cold. So, on the marketing channel, there's a cold, warm, and hot. So your cold is the people who don't know about your product. They are brand new, and they are the people that are just out there searching. So you put out their cold. The warm is someone who's clicked on an ad that you had in the marketplace. So they're interested in your product. They're still on the fence. And the hot is somebody that's been to your website, looked into the information, looked into the product, and is ready to buy. And those people you want to remarket to. So, when you look into Facebook and you're looking at marketing, you have to figure out, okay, let me find out who this exact person is. And I was telling you, and there's so many different ways to do that. Some of my big winners were Kim Kardashian. I found out a lot of my parents followed Kim Kardashian. I found out that they enjoyed reading the newspaper still. They were married, kids, some college educated, some not. So I had to do a lot of trial and error to figure out all this information. And that's why I tell people, sometimes once again, you're going to lose before you start to win. So you got to get that or learn before you start to win.
What would you tell somebody that's starting out, right? Pitch yourself first 30, 60, 90 days that doesn't have a $1,200 budget. They've got a $0 budget.
Okay. I would tell them first thing first, find you a mentor or a coach.
Listen to that. First thing you said.
Say that again.
Find you a mentor or a coach.
Yeah.
That is the game changer. Find someone that that has done something that you're interested in doing, and that would allow them to mentor you. Find you a mentor or coach.
But people won't. Why?
People won't because a lot of times, today in society, everybody thinks it's a scam. Hey, it's a scam. This guy's just trying to get this from me, trying to get that from me. So they're nervous and scared. My first thing I would tell anybody is to find somebody that's been in business, that has been successful at business, and allow them to mentor you or coach you. And a lot of times, some people, if you find somebody local, they may even do that for free. You know what I mean? They may even do that for free.
There are a lot of scammers out there, right? There are a lot of scammers. But the biggest scammer, I'm just thinking about this. So if I think about myself, people listening, the biggest scam out there is the one in your own head.
Correct. Yeah,
you don't tell yourself that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't exist. They won't allow themselves to apply what is real. And that's a scam. The little voice in your head that says you can't do it, that is the lie. Right. Yeah. Because if someone just listened to this podcast and took even half away what you've said, people may not realize you've literally given a 6-figure blueprint for anyone in business. Just the few words that you've said. This could be a little course on its own. Right. The value that you've spat out is insane on how to do online marketing, how to niche down, how to find what you need, how to price it out. All the things you've said today. But someone might say, I can't do that. Why not?
Why not?
You did it. Right. And so where's the scam at? it's in our own heads. So you can do research today. You can find out if someone's real or not, right? You can figure out if this is a genuine person that has my best interests at heart. And so if you find that person and they have a blueprint to success and you say no, even though it's something you want to do, that's a scam.
I agree. And here we go again, the fear. Fear holds so many people back. It held me back for years.
How did you get over that fear, Aaron?
So I'll be honest with you, it's crazy because I'm talking to him right now. Ewan helped me out a lot. Me and Ewan. Yeah, we helped each other out.
Look at you as a mentor too. Because I would feel it as a mentor 13 years ago.
It's crazy because I just realized this, but Ewan was kind of a mentor to me. Yeah. Go ahead.
How does that make you feel, Ewan?
This is something I've realized here recently. I really enjoy helping people, and I've often kind of tried to decipher why, or when we play sports together, I go and analyze things so I can get good at them better than the person that I'm seeing do it. In the hopes, this is the strange part, in the hopes that they'll get better than me, so that I can then go ask them, how can I be better again? It's really strange that you guys have become mentors to me now, so that I can now level myself up.
Right.
And the way I do things, like at some point in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get so good that they'll come back to me and ask me how they could do it. And you're going to pass me. And is that not a beautiful scene where we're just continuously helping each other to just level up? The name of this podcast, level up and live your life. And so, it's beautiful to hear you guys say that. And I hope it's beautiful for you guys to hear me saying it back to you, that y'all are helping me so much. I love it.
Yeah, it is. I remember the first time I met Ewan, and it's crazy because we were talking about this off camera a few minutes ago, but, he was very inspirational, and I love the way that he lived his life. And he's very vulnerable, And Ewan will tell you, I'm a very vulnerable person too. So it was weird for me to meet somebody that was so similar to me. But I love the way that he was living his life. He was, a follower of Christ, loved his wife, loved his kids, and was just all about the positivity. And at that point in time, he doesn't even know this. So I'm gonna let you guys know some couple things about me. I was in a dark place. So, meeting Ewan during that time really just helped me get out of that dark place. Because, he was showing me, hey, this is what you need to be doing. This is how you need to be living your life. And that's why I tell people all the time, you can meet someone and they might not even know it, but they can be your mentor. They, you're looking at the way that they're living their life, the way that they're carrying themselves. And that's what I've seen in you. And I was like, you know what? This guy is positive beyond. I've seen you, and I've known him 10 years and maybe seen him get mad once or twice. I almost, that's it. I've never seen him like, he never gets too high, he never gets too low. And it's always, hey, bro, it shall pass. So I really enjoy it. So I appreciate it.
I've been to some dark places myself, and both of you guys have helped me through. And that's, you said it. We didn't know. I didn't know you were in a dark place. People don't know I'm in a dark place. And why would we not let people know or share it? Because then we can help each other get out. And then actually being able to use your dark place, because you've been there, to help other people. People listening to this, man, your dark place, you're like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Or man, at some point when you come out, you're going to be able to help someone else. Maybe that's why you were in there.
Correct.
And so, it's people need people. Community.
Correct.
100%.
No, I agree.
So cool, man. Yeah. So, wrapping up, man, if someone wanted to start a t-shirt business or any business, what would be, so we covered so many things, what advice would you give to get someone started? Like today, if they could just go do something, what would you tell them to go do?
My main thing I would tell them to do is get out of their own way. If you have something that you're passionate about, go for it. In today's world, we have so many different ways that you can learn things. Find you a mentor. Find you someone that can stand behind what they say and can lead you and show you a way to be successful. I think that's so important. You got to be vulnerable. It's okay to go out and find somebody that, hey, you know what? I don't know everything. And that's okay. None of us do. Nobody does. Find you somebody that can help you get to where you want to be in life. Find a mentor. Get part of a mastermind class. Find that. Find like-minded people that have interest in you and want you to be successful. That's what I love about my core group. everybody wants to see you successful.
Man, I would agree with you 1,000%. I've always said this on previous episodes as well. The fastest way to greatness or success, and that looks different for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
In all areas of life, is coach and mentor. I mean, I've always said that, and I'm a big believer in that.
Yes.
Final question I want to ask you. This is going to be something new moving forward. It's kind of a shocker moment. You ready for this, Aaron?
I'm ready.
Okay, you look a little nervous, man. You sure?
What are you going?
All right. What does level up and live mean to you?
Oh,
Good question.
great question. On the spot. I love it. Level up and live means to me to be the best version of yourself. Live in the.
I'm going to say,
Mike.
Aaron doesn't. This is the first time we're doing this virtually. Aaron has never met Sean before, and what you just said is like Sean's mantra.
That is.
So you saying that is like two peas in a pod, right?
Did we just become best friends? I'm just going to leave.
Sean and Aaron will be doing a podcast.
Like I say, level up is, the best version of yourself. And I believe, the best version of yourself every day. Stop living for the future. Don't worry about the future. Live for the day. That's what you need to do. Live for the day. So that's
beautifully said.
Yeah.
Beautifully said, man.
Love that.
Where can our listeners and audience, community, friends, and family support you? Where's the best place to follow you and support you?
So on Instagram, it's Instagram, Aaron Davoe Clothing. On the wide world web is www.aarondavoe.com. On TikTok, it's Aaron Davoe. I'm usually on TikTok or Instagram. If you want to support, please go to the website. And like I say, everybody has the same opportunity. It's all about what you do with it.
Yeah. We'll put all your links in the show notes for people to find you. Yeah, man, this has been a blast. This has been a dream come true for me, seeing the two phenomenal guys getting to talk and just watching it. It's been beautiful. I hope the audience has enjoyed it too.
No, it's been great. I appreciate you guys having me on today. Like I said, I've always admired you, and Sean, he always says great things about you. So I'm glad to finally meet you, man.
Likewise, my friend. Likewise, man. He speaks very highly of you. And typically there's only 3 people's names that come out of his mouth. It's like either Kel, Aaron, or Kel, Aaron, and Kel and Aaron. And Andrew, yeah. And Greg. Okay,
Greg. No, that's phenomenal. Me and you, and we've built a great relationship over the years. We've helped each other from just, some dark moments of time in life. And that's another thing that's important. You need good friends. You need a solid friend group. So,
Amen,
you need that.
Yeah. We appreciate your time, energy, and effort today, Aaron. It was a pleasure having you on, man. I have no doubt that it's going to provide huge value to our listeners and audience. So it's going to impact hundreds, thousands of lives. So we appreciate you, man, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.
Brother.
All right.
Good to see you.
You guys.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you all for tuning in to another exciting episode of Level Up with Sean Meyers. We hope you've been as inspired as we have by the remarkable journey of our incredible guest, Aaron Willis. Remember, no matter the challenges you face, with the right mindset and a determined spirit, you too can achieve your dreams. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast for more amazing stories of triumph and success. Until next time, keep striving, keep believing, and keep leveling up and living life to its fullest. This is Sean Meyers signing off. See you in the next episode.